Hey readers and fellow book nerds. Today I wanted to talk about a book I picked up at City Lit Books in Logan Square. It's off of Kedzie Avenue there. This is one of those books, every now and then you come across a book that, it's one of those books where you think everybody should read it and take it to heart and think about it because it covers serious topic. It's called One Day Everyone Will Have Always Been Against This by Omar El Akkad. Omar El Akkad is a journalist. And so this book is about what's happening to the Palestinian people right now. All the horrors, atrocities, the starvation, the death, destruction. It is about what's happening to them right now, what has been happening to them for a couple years now, especially. And so you could tell by the cover, with the graphic, it is a very serious book. One of the things I will say about that is the writing is both beautiful and haunting and horrifying. There's a thread of hope throughout, on and off, that kind of keeps you going, but there's also this, it's hard to describe the feeling that's in there because it's not only just about those events and what's happening to the Palestinian people, but Omar El Akkad is a journalist and he pulls from his background. He looks at U.S. foreign policy. He looks at the global response to this crisis and everything going on. He looks at all the events leading up to it, and paints a picture of prejudice and a foreign policy that's colored by the events of September 11th and has been for a long time, that kind of creates a breeding ground for the situation to be, a best case scenario, to be ignored. And so it's a horrifying book because there is a pointing out that if this were any other population, if Israel wasn't involved, there are certain words and terms we would use to define this event that that our leaders in media, our politicians, aren't using. And so that's, kind of a small sample of what's in this book. This is a very thought-provoking book that really just kind of picks apart the contradictions of who we want to be and who we actually are based on our inaction as a society, or our ignoring of it, and supporting clearly the aggressor in this situation. And so I think it's a very important book. I think it's one of those books that can hopefully tap into empathy and get people to think about this situation in a different way and look at it from a new lens, and in time, hopefully change their mind, if they aren't already understanding and having that empathy for the plight of the Palestinian people. I mean, obviously the title itself, One Day Everyone Will Have Always Been Against This, is telling of the stance this book takes. That's not a surprise, but the way it's written, it's absolutely incredible. I think everyone should read it. If you've read it, please leave a comment about it below. And if there's any other books like it, or if you've read, he's also written American War. I have not read it, but it sounds like it's a great book as well. This is nonfiction. That one, I believe, is fiction. But if you've read that, please leave your comments about that below. But I encourage you to check it out, to share it with family and friends. Make this a book to read. And, once you read it, come back and let me know, what are your thoughts on it? Did it affect you in a way that it affected me? Because I do find it such a profound book. Anyways, thanks for watching. If you want to read about City Lit Books, I have a link below. This video is going to be attached to my Books and Boards newsletter, where I hit different independent bookstores and game stores and things like that around the greater Chicagoland area and beyond. But please check this book out, and if you haven't visited City Lit Books, check that out as well. It's a really cool bookstore. Thanks.